Welcome back, guys. So today I'm gonna be showing you how to cook some lamb ribs, and also I have my friend here, Alex.
Hi
He's
guys.
gonna be helping us today with the cooking. As you can see here, we already have a skillet on the fire, just so we have it hot enough for the cooking.
It's already cured. It's ready for the lamb. We're warming it up right now just to make sure that it's hot enough to cook the meat all the way in. We don't want it overcooked and we don't want it gammy or chewy.
Right.
We all know the lamb could be very heavy, and so we want it to be right on point for the meat to be tender enough for it to fall off the bone, like we all like it. So, what is going to be our first step?
So right now, let's just check if it's already hot.
It's hot.
It's really hot, and as we already said, these are some lamb ribs. We're just gonna put them on the skillet so we can sear them first, and then we'll just let it cook for a little bit. Yes. Right here.
Perfect. I've never
And
cooked this type of lamb. I don't do outdoorsy cooking, so I'm gonna let my friend here guide me on it
yeah, just
before I
gonna
burn myself.
open them up, and then I have some. Can you grab me the salt and pepper
Yep.
from the lunchbox, please? We're not gonna put too much seasoning on this.
Salt and pepper.
Thank you. You grab them. We're just gonna put some salt on one side. I think that's about enough. And then we're gonna put the pepper. Like I told you guys on the previous videos, I do like to use this coarse black pepper just because it's more granulated and it gives the meat a little bit more flavor than the other peppers, black peppers. All right.
Good. Now we're gonna put them in the pan. This is hot. I can smell them already. I can smell the meat already.
Just gonna put them with the seasoned side down. Just
And they're like lollipops, and so you can actually grab them by the bone
by the
very
bone,
easily without burning yourself,
right?
and position them in the pan in a way that all of them fit and all of them get cooked.
Right.
So that's a neat thing about this ribs. Even when you're gonna eat them, you can actually grab them by the bone and just eat them like that. Because one thing about ribs is they're messy. They're
Right.
very good, but they're very messy.
Right.
And so I'm not a big fan of them only because of that, the messiness of it. But this one's actually they're very tender. They're good size. They have a lot of meat, and they have that neat thing of the tail, little bone. So you can actually grab them not only to cook them and twist them, but to eat them.
Actually eat them. Yeah, that's right. And then right now we're gonna put a little bit more salt since the other side wasn't seasoned. Just a little bit. Remember that on the other videos I told you guys I like to season the meat before it is cooked and a little bit after it came out of the fire. That is just so we have a good seasoned meat instead of just a plain one. One of the things that I didn't tell you guys, I brought some butter and some rosemary. We're gonna add that a little bit at the end so we can keep the ribs moist and also give it a little bit more flavor.
And how long do we leave them on the pan before we flip them over?
Since they're not too thick, I think it's gonna be a matter of 3 minutes each side. And since I like them medium rare, we don't want them to be overcooked, so we're just gonna flip them in a just a couple minutes more.
Couple minutes.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips or any ways to check to make sure the meat is ready?
Yeah, actually I do. It's just as soon as I see the meat that is bleeding a little bit from one side or the top, then that's the indicator for me to flip them around.
Okay.
And then as soon as I flip them, they also start bleeding from the other side as well, and that's when I tell me that's going to the medium rare side.
Okay. Do you want to put any extra oil, or do you recommend to put any extra
No, it's just
lard or oil?
depending on the type of meat. This one, that's why I brought the butter. They don't have a lot of fat in them, so they're gonna dry up quickly. So
Okay.
that's why I brought the butter,
Put 'em
so
on.
we can have that moistness on the ribs.
Does the butter affect the flavor of it too?
It does in a matter that for me I think it has them. It concentrates the flavor since as soon as the butter starts melting, all the flavors get mixed with the butter. So it just concentrates all the flavors in the juice of the butter, and then the meat is gonna absorb all that flavor
Okay.
back into it. So
Right now we're already flipping them.
yeah,
You
right
can
now.
see on the top of the pan. You can see it's already cooked. You can see the color change already, the texture of it. It's actually, most of the time you see on the steaks and other outdoor cooking meats that are used, they shrink when they're cooked. This one actually, it hasn't. They haven't shrunk, but
No.
they have hardened. And so you can still see them, they're tender even if you move the bone. You can still see them jiggle a little. You can see the juice still flowing through them. And so you can actually see them. They're not burned, but they're well cooked. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're just checking right here, make sure they don't get stuck to the pan, since we don't have any oils or anything other than the one already on the meat.
We're just gonna wait a couple minutes more before I add the butter. And for this one, it's just regular butter that you find in any supermarket. And I'm using about a little more than half of it, just one bar. We're just gonna add it all together.
Just with the smell, I'm already salivating.
Oh yeah, and can you pass me the rosemary,
Yeah.
the little bag, please? And then as soon as I add the butter and it starts melting, we're gonna put the little rosemary right there.
What kind of flavor do you get with the rosemary?
Um,
Um,
for me, it goes more into the earthy flavors, you know.
That oak paste.
Yeah, yeah. Not like if you were cooking them on a regular charcoal grill or something like that. It's just more of what do you call it? A little bit like
Earthy?
just like earthy. Yeah, like
Yeah,
the
like
wines.
aftertaste.
Yeah, that little earthy aftertaste.
That I know of. And so in here, my homework or my task is to make sure he doesn't get burned, assist him with the ingredients, and salivate over the ribs, basically.
And of course, eat them at the
And
end.
of course, eat them at the end. Yes.
Right, so we're gonna throw in the butter now. We're gonna throw in the butter now. Okay. And as soon as it starts melting a little bit more, we're gonna add the rosemary.
And it's actually really neat to see how, as the butter is melting, the meat is absorbing all of that juice. You can smell it. You can see the difference. You can see the meat, the consistency of the meat, that it's actually different. I had I hardly ever cook um, outdoorsy, grill or anything of that, but I've seen it, and I can see the difference. Actually, I would have never thought of using butter.
Butter? Yeah.
Type of little house that you do with the logs. They're still burning. There's still fire in the bottom, but
Yeah.
it's actually it's almost like marinating the pan instead to give that seasoning, give that opportunity for the meat to absorb the butter.
Yeah, and since it's not a direct fire anymore, it's gonna let the meat absorb all the butter and the flavor of the seasoning. And to be honest, guys, I think this one's already done. Just gonna let this sit for a little bit. Just let the meat reabsorb all the butter. Actually, I'm just gonna turn them a little bit. So we can sear them from the other side. But to be honest, this one's already done. They don't need that much any longer on the fire. All right, so now leave it for a couple minutes. We'll be right back. So here you go, guys. And that's the fire, and this is the result. It's still sizzling. Just look at that. So
Yummy.
we're gonna be doing the taste test right now. See how that's come up. Pretty good. Alright, so yeah, that one's yours.
As we mentioned, we have a little tail here with a rib that you can actually grab it like a lollipop, like a drumstick. You can do it. It's a little bit hot, but it's a little too hot for me. I'm burning my mouth. But it's actually tasting good.
Oh my god.
It is very yummy.
Mm.
Very, very yummy. Y'all have to try it at home. If you want to come to the desert, please do. It's actually really good. Try them.
Let's look at that. They're not too thick, so you don't have to wait a lot. Leave them on the fire for too long, per se. They're cooked right away.
Rib cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Mm.
Mm.
Thank you for inviting me. It's really good.
You're very welcome. It's actually the first time I also tried ribs.
Lamb ribs?
Lamb ribs.
They're actually really good. And they're actually tender.
They
With the
come out.
butter, you can taste it. Look at this. It's just falling off. Very tender. Really, really good. Worth it. And the butter gave it really good taste.
They're not too
They're
dry.
nice and moist.
They're just moist enough so you don't have to, like, how do you say it? You don't need that much saliva
They don't.
to chew them.
You don't choke on them.
Yeah, it doesn't dry your mouth. That's what I wanted to say.
And it's really good. It's a must. Really good. We need some red wine.
We definitely do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it, guys. You already saw just some lamb ribs from Albertsons. They're not too expensive. Just some salt, pepper. You can put any herbs that you like, just to experiment with the flavors. And just like you saw, I put some butter just to give it that moistiness, to keep it moist while cooking, and they came out pretty good. Just have to watch out for that cooking time so you don't burn them.
Mine is well done. Not burned at all. And well done. Love it. Quite the experience.
If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Alex, for coming up here and helping me
Thank
out
you,
with the
Hector.
fire.
No problem. Thank you. I love it. It was quite an experience. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Welcome.
Lots of fun. Very flavor. Really good.
We have to do another
Subscribe.
recipe.
You have to give me the recipe.
That's it, guys. See you next time.
Bye.